let's go live with Ian Rollins and Earl Beeston.
And good afternoon and welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, November the 5th. I remember saying January, so 2018. Now it's like November.
Welcome to the end of the year.
They say when club match is over, Christmas is here.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Time is flying by. As they say, and the saying is true, time waits for no man.
It doesn't. It's just that when we're young, you don't feel it. But as you
Right,
get older, it's
yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
And you're doing so many other things, it's non-stop.
Right.
And that's what happens, right? Just, boom, takes your day away. Good afternoon to you, sir. How you doing, Mr. Baston?
I'm good.
All is well?
I'm good, Mr. Rollins.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good, and there's the lady over there. What's her name? I don't know her name. You know her name?
Tennis
lady?
Not yet.
Not yet? Athlete?
Working towards that.
Working towards an athlete?
The last time we talked, she was working towards that.
Tennis and triathlon. Lady Thing. Lady Thang. Good afternoon to you. How you doing?
He just wanted me to say something.
Well, you're never lost for words.
Well, I'm quiet on this side. I'm doing the board.
You're doing the board?
Yeah.
You sure?
Perfect.
Your phone going off?
Nope. It's in my lap.
She's keeping an eye on the time so she can get out of here.
There you go.
Been on one morning already, hasn't it?
It has.
Well, she made 7 o'clock. She's all right.
Yeah, but you're still up. Daylight savings. Not complaining, but you're just still up.
Yeah.
No, which is true. I will admit. Yeah. It takes about a week for me to adjust because I'm getting older.
Okay, well, that's you.
It takes you, 24 hours and you're straight?
Somewhat, but then, I'm used to making 7. I'm going to go back to 6 next week. So
I would say get ready this week for next week.
Pretty much.
But you got the extra hour, so you're okay.
Within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah.
It's like tennis. Within reason.
Within reason, yeah.
What did you do to get extra hour?
That's right. What did you do? All up in my business. We don't
It's real simple. When A and B is talking, C need to stay out.
Okay.
I can just turn off his mic here because I am controlling the board, and then Earl and I can have the show.
You can go right ahead. I'll sit there. Relax for a change. I have no problem with that. I took advantage of an extra hour's sleep. How was that?
Oh, okay. I know many people didn't.
It's hard,
because the body's used to doing.
Yeah. As I say, it takes me about a week.
Right.
I mean, I stayed in bed for an extra hour, but now it's up and going. But it's not going to hit me till like Thursday that I really can feel it. Thursday or Friday. It's like I don't have to get up next week, Sunday early, to prep my meal for the week because Liverpool's playing at 8 o'clock, so I can sit down and relax and watch Liverpool play. What was that?
Next Sunday?
Yeah, next Sunday, yeah.
Okay, who they got?
Fulham. And, congratulations to Arsenal holding Liverpool to a 1-1 draw. Congratulations to you Arsenal fans in Bermuda. It was a good game. I was pleased with it. I thought we had our chances, and so did Arsenal. It goes both ways, but I thought my first goal I scored was an onside goal, but the referee thought otherwise, or the linesman, I should say, thought otherwise. It was offside. Nevertheless, said, it's all said, it's done, it's over. Move on.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's all good. How are things with you, mate? How was the Rugby Classic? I know we got underway, the 31st annual Rugby Classic.
Yeah, that was the last thing yesterday. It was alright.
Yeah.
2 shockers.
Already.
France and South Africa in the consolation though, because they both lost. Wow. Canada and Ireland in the semi-final.
Canada and Ireland. Wow.
Ireland making an appearance after
for
the first time after 25 years.
They
defeated France. I believe it was 24-10, and then Canada came from behind to defeat South Africa 26-24, scoring with about 3 minutes to go a try after being down majority of the match. And the fans got behind them because they wanted to see a good finish.
Yeah.
And Canada gave it to them.
Wow.
There was nothing South Africa could have done differently other than hold on to the ball because Canada was running at them. The game plan worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Speaking of rugby, you're going to have the big man in the studio today.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have John Kane in studio. I spoke to him yesterday. A busy man, though.
Yeah, non-stop.
Very busy man. So he's going to take some time out of his day to pop by and just give us an update on what's remainder for the what's left for the remainder of the week.
Yeah.
2 matches tonight, day off tomorrow, 2 matches Wednesday, 2 matches Thursday, day off Friday, final Saturday. So.
right into the long weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
works out well.
It does. I mean,
Works
there's
out
a
well.
lot of stuff going on. This weekend we had so much stuff going on locally and overseas. It just kind of keeps you busy, keeps you on your toes, keeps you going,
Right,
keeps
right.
you motivated.
Cool.
So yeah.
We also have joining us in studio today, President of Bermuda Netball Association, be joining us, giving us an update on their season getting underway.
Yeah, some action Saturday night down there.
Oh, you played?
Sorry,
You played?
no, it's the league, so
Oh,
they don't have misfits in the game when the regular league plays.
okay.
They just play. Yeah.
Play.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so we get an update on what's happening there.
Yeah.
Also, Jacon Edmonds be joining
John
us in
Edness
studio today.
from the Department of Youth, Sport and Recreation. The nomination forms for Athlete of the Year, both male and female, junior male and female, citation awards. All the awards were out today.
Mhm.
They're out this morning. So for those people who can look back at the year and years, because there is categories where you can nominate administrators, teams, just people for their work done throughout a sport for quite some time. There's areas for that as well. So if you feel someone's worthy, get on board.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to ensure that the person that you want to win is nominated. Because if you don't do it, if you don't nominate the person, don't expect somebody else to nominate them. And then kick up at the end that, oh, I thought Ian would have won. Well, did you put Ian's name here?
No.
No, I just don't have the time. But you have the time to complain.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so true.
And that's been an ongoing issue
Oh, yeah.
for a few decades.
Well, you know what?
Years,
When I first
decades.
joined that committee, a lot of people used to say that to me. And after year 3, people don't even ask me no more. Because I tell them right now, I'm not going to sugarcoat the being on the panel and say, oh, well, maybe next year you'll do something. No. It's your responsibility. Don't come crying to me.
Mm.
If you didn't put the person's name in, don't come crying to me.
Because that's the process.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we say it all the time. The committee is not allowed to put people's names in. We're not allowed.
How about if they took a different angle, not the committee, but a separate committee? Then that's still a committee, yeah. What's the possibility of, I guess we'll come down to the committee, if a committee puts names forth in various sports, they just put the names forth, they don't have no voting on it, no rights, not your committee who comes down to the voting process, but a committee that puts names forth in the various categories, puts them in the paper, puts them on the radio, whatever the case may be.
Why can't the national sport governing body do it for their athletes?
Well, it's
We could say it's
I
volunteers,
get that.
we could say this, we could say that, but remember, every organization has an end of the year award celebration,
right.
right?
Mhm.
So what they write about the male or female or whomever athlete of the year
Mhm.
can just be documented on that same paperwork and sent to that committee.
So then let me ask you this: do the sports governing bodies respect Department of Youth and Sport? Because what I'm hearing here is that what you're saying is exactly correct.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't adhere to something that's cut and paste,
Mm-hmm.
it's a respect there.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's that.
Mm.
I think a lot of the administrators
Mhm.
would say, "I don't think my athlete is going to win anything, so I'm not going to waste my time."
But then, you know what? I look at it like this. One, that's wrong.
Oh yeah, we all know that's wrong.
Right?
We all know that's wrong.
2, you're not respecting the governing body itself, the
Right.
Department of Youth and Sport.
Right.
3, you're not respecting your own athlete,
yeah.
right? So the opportunity is to put forth your athlete
Mhm.
because he or she or they didn't get nominated on this occasion does not mean that it will happen the following year.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day,
Not at all.
So if Earl or Ian's name was put forth in 2018 and we didn't make it to the final round, that doesn't mean we have a great season 2019 that we're not going to make it in 2019, so you
Right.
can put my name forth here.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But see, here lies the problem. The administrators of these national sports governing bodies have every bit of document on what every person in their sport does.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, if the athlete comes up short because of a lack of documentation, that's not on anybody else other than the administration. Because if you put in enough information to convince enough people to vote for that person, you stand a chance.
You're right.
A lot of people, listen, we get paperwork with just the person's name, the sport, the person who's writing the end's address, and a phone number. That's it.
When is the entries? Obviously, they open today.
Started today, finishes December 15th.
I built that when it's the deadline. Yeah.
But we'll obviously get more from Jacan, but you know, it's sometimes when you're getting that behind them, man, it's frustrating. And for someone like me, who I'm out there, I see these athletes performing, and I'm looking down at their administrators who are celebrating when the athletes performing during the sport, but then you're not giving that person any justice
by not nominating
them.
Right. So let me ask you this one then: have you considered meeting with the governing bodies and asking for their input as in a different process for nomination?
No, I think that I could be wrong, but we can ask Jacan. I think that was done during, you know how they have their summits.
Yeah.
I think that was done during that time, and I'm not 100% sure because they invited the media to one of them. I remember a conversation on the lines of the paperwork. Does anybody need any extra help or understanding?
And they all said no.
Yeah.
They all said no. Came out and said no. You don't need it.
Well,
the process.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm asking from that point of view there, does the process need to be different going forward?
Not much different it could be. It's simple. It's a straightforward process.
So I'm just being devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now things are click of a mouse.
Yeah.
Could there be something where you can just
you can download the photo? But see, the thing is, you can do all that, but the committee need documentation to go along with it. So you need to be evaluating what the person done, you know, throughout the course of the year, or what the person has done for years. You know, we know people. Like you see somebody's name, and you'll say, "Oh, okay, I know that person," but then without the extra information, that person could lose out.
So let's go this way. Let's throw it back the other way, right? Let's go back the other way. Why don't the committee nominate the athletes and pick the athletes, and then let's see the response.
Oh boy!
Let's see the response to the public. Why they will make all.
Listen, we're still rebounding from the fact that we picked a male athlete some years ago, and it was overturned.
Yeah.
We're still reeling from that, mate.
Okay.
That, trust me, did not go over well with the committee because we felt we had done the job that we were asked to do, and to be sidetracked by a process that we felt was wrong. And you know, it took some talking. It took some, because the committee, we met outside of the we met again after the decision was made.
Bye, Miss Thing. Bye. Have a good afternoon now. Enjoy your tennis.
Thank you so much. I'll be sure to let you know what I got.
Love 30. Bye. Sorry, y'all.
No problem. Yeah, we met, you know, and we requested a meeting. We had our meeting, and, you know, decisions were made. We had no control over the final decision, which has since, that process has changed. That, you know, you just can't arbitrarily, you know, change something because you don't feel it's right, or it's something personal that you don't like the personal, whatever the reason may be. We just felt that we done the process, we went through the whole thing, and it was unfortunate that that incident took place that year, and it just put a damper on the whole night.
Wow. So it comes down to, it's very hard to please the sports governing bodies, our sports fans, when it comes down to nomination of male, female, and various other categories to put the names forth. Yeah. It's not hard. It's not rocket science.
It's not. It clearly it is not. And you know what? And I'll tell you this. Ian. Right now, you have so many sports who are looking to be in the paper, writing stuff for the paper themselves. So why not just do it for the end of the year awards? They're writing the stuff themselves and sending it there in order for it to be printed. Because they're not getting the reciprocal of them coming out. So, but they want that publicity. Some of them, because their name's being quoted in it, so they look good. They look like they're doing something. You know what I mean?
So let's go down this path then. So if you have what back in the day you and I were growing up was the Sports Illustrated Athlete of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Now you have the ESPN ESPY Awards, right? You also have the CNN Sports Athletes of the Year Awards. So if this separate committee formed their own identity and sponsorship, so and so award, people cannot get uptight about it.
No, they
which
can't.
they will. Which they will.
Definitely.
But those are the same ones who didn't put forth the nomination forms from them.
Yeah.
Dang, man, that's not easy. I feel sorry for your committee, man. I really do.
We
I
can
mean,
only
you guys put
deliberate
in a
on the
lot of time.
information that's presented to us,
Right.
and that's the unfortunate part.
So you can have like a 1 hour deliberation up to 8 hours. Just
Generally, it lasts.
I know, I'm just kidding about the 1
Yeah,
hour.
generally we 4 to 5 hours.
Wow.
Because we what we have to do is make sure that everyone nominated is in the correct category.
Yeah.
Because some people just might put down, I want Ian to be the the athlete of the year, but Ian's category, the paperwork, would say something different. So we would have to first go through all of that. Then there's a process that you go through. You know, you make sure that everybody understands, so the rules are read out for the categories, and then the amount of awards that be given for each category. You know, it's just a breakdown of all of that. So,
Right.
which is good.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take our first commercial break. Our first guest has arrived in the studio, or in the station. They're going to let him into the studio. So we're going to take our first commercial break, and we'll be back after this.
Stay like that. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. It is 12:38. The clock hasn't been changed, so that's why I paused. Now joining us in the set here in the Power 95 studio is the president of the Bermuda Netball Association, is Kamal Evans. League started.
Yes.
Action Saturday night.
Yes. It's good action.
It was. I mean, for the time I was there, you had the youth that you get to experience.
Yep.
You had two well-balanced teams in the final game of the night.
Yes.
But overall, is that the start you wanted for the season? That's going to bring a lot of interest.
It's most definitely the start that we wanted. We've been really pushing to try and get the teams on an even playing field, and as it appears, based on the results that came from the matches this past weekend, it's definitely a very balanced playing field. And I think that on any given day, depending on if the coaches get the tactics right and the players execute those tactics, I think that anybody can possibly come out with a victory.
How many times do teams play each other during the league season?
Well, there are 6 teams, and we are doing 3 rounds of match play. One of the interesting things that we've done, and this is the second year for us doing it, is we've changed our point system. We have changed it, whereas we wanted it to be a little bit more competitive. We want to see teams actually striving, because what happens is that the winning team gets 3 points. The losing team, if they score more than half, they get 1 point. Yeah. So what happens is that despite the fact that a team might be losing, they might continue to play on to try and get that point. And based on the results this weekend, we had 3 teams with 3 points, and we had 3 teams with a point. Right. So it's very balanced coming out the gates with the first match. And last season, with us doing it, the second and third place team was tied. Right. And actually it came down to the goal difference, and that was purely based on the point system, whereas the team that actually ended up placing second didn't win. I think it was a total of 4 matches, but they got those points. Right. Right. So they didn't win 4 matches. Right, but they got a point off of all of them, so they got 4. And then the team that was behind them totally lost a match and didn't get half the score and didn't get any points at all. Right. So it ended up where, they ended up being balanced on the point system.
So you just understand this correctly. So Earl's team gets 30 points, my team gets 16 points. So I got half, this is 15. So I get 1 point.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, he gets the 3. Okay.
Yes.
That's kind of interesting. Is that new for Bermuda, or is that internationally where you see this point system?
Well, the thing about it is you can see this point system depending on, what the leagues want to do. It has been seen in competitions to try and, get the most out of the competitors, and it seems to be something that is working. What we don't want is for a team to be losing, and then the match play is just totally diminished because they're like, well, we're losing anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You've actually given them something to strive for.
Given them something to definitely strive for.
Well, you guys have had your challenges down at Bernard Park of late.
Yes.
Surface is still a little challenging because it's just got that top layer on it.
Yes.
What has been the talk with youth and sport as far as kind of possibly getting you guys out of there, or redoing that surface to ensure that it's safer? Because as we get into the winter months, it's going to get damp, it's going to get more slick because it's got that slick tarp on it already. So,
well, I mean, our relationship with youth and sport is, I can definitely say it's on the up and up, and we have a really good relationship as far as communicating with them our needs and some of our wants, but more so our needs. And they're doing a really good job of trying to push to get something for us. I mean, for quite some time now, NAPO hasn't received the accolades that we actually deserve based on the results that we have been producing. So for us, we appreciate the fact that we have someone at Youth in Sports that is advocating on our behalf, and that is on the same page as us, and we are definitely looking forward to in the future potentially getting a new surface down there altogether. We're looking into it's a snap court surface that can be put down that can actually once we can level that off and it can go right on top of there.
Right.
To be honest, so we are looking into that, and hopefully within the next 2 years or so, maybe we can see that come to fruition for sure.
Is the sport more dangerous to play on grass on what we play on here? Because most sports play indoor on the basketball court. So I'm just looking at what we can offer locally as a solution. You know what I mean? As a backup solution.
I can tell you, grass is definitely a no-no. The grass is actually more slick than anything.
Right.
Most people that play sports on grass have cleats.
Yes.
And that's definitely a risk factor. We won't have any of our girls playing in cleats, you know, to try and grab a hold of the surface and things like that. And it's something that has been almost demolished within the school system because, you know, it's very dangerous for them to play on it. The asphalt is just as dangerous, just as is the court, the wooden court surface or the surfaces that they use internationally. One of the biggest things that we have been focusing on is trying to get our clubs to understand, you know, giving the players the correct techniques, how to land, how to, you know, how the bodies should be positioned and things like that to help preserve those things because you look at runners that have been running on the asphalt for years and years and years. As long as they've been given the correct technique, it kind of preserves the body and allows the body to go on. So that's an area that we're focusing on. We just had a strategic planning session with the coaches that was pretty well attended. There was a representative from every club to have some input into what we're looking to do going forward. And one of the areas that we highlighted was to basically have a standardized area that we expect each child as per each division to reach. So that means that at the under 12 division they have to be able to know how to catch, how to have the footwork down, how to drive onto the ball and things like that. And it's not like we're telling them that this is what you do and this is exactly how you have to do it. We'll just set those goals, and what they decide as coaches in order to achieve those goals will only help to build up the level of play and also build up the understanding of trying to preserve the knees and all of those types of things. So all of those things will work hand in hand.
We're only a few weeks away from the juniors starting, which actually makes the day that much longer. How many junior teams do we have, and when is the actual start date for them?
The junior league was initially decided to start on the 10th, but it's been pushed back to the 17th. And we currently have 6 teams in the under 12, and I want to say I believe it's 6 teams in the under 16 as well. So we're steadily, you know, growing, and the clubs are steadily receiving an influx of players that are coming in, and so you know, we're really excited about this. And you're going to actually hear it first here on this radio station. We have received for this 2018-19 season a title sponsor for our junior leagues, and that would be with Digicel that's coming on board. That will totally sponsor that entire league.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done. What's it been like for you? I'm going back to just the summer back here. You competed overseas. You did very well. I think you won the competition.
We did.
Right.
We did.
Where do you go forward? Because that's a boost to show that the domestic games are improving in Bermuda under your tutelage. I think it's your 3rd year being in the hot seat. What does this mean now for netball going forward for international and domestic programming?
Well, in order for us to steadily improve, like I said several times here, we have to continuously play matches. We have to play matches at a higher level, and we have to prepare them at a higher level. So our national training program has been in full swing. Our under 16s have been training all through the summer, and also will continue training in preparation for the Jean Pierre, which is taking place next year, April, that they'll be heading over. It's like one of the first tournaments that the Caribbean, the CNA, Caribbean National Association of Netball puts on, because there isn't many competitions for the players at that junior age level. I know that AFNA, which is the region that we fit in, are also on hand of trying to push a lot more competitions and making it a little bit more feasible for the pockets, because as you know, it's extremely expensive for us to travel. So there was a calendar of events that was sent out for the next 2 years that has highlights different tournaments and things that we can go to. We still have the under 21 age group in training. They're training at least once a week, and they will pick up their training sessions again come next month with on Sunday mornings. And we always like to keep want to have people wanting to be a part of our program. So what we do is that every year we will have trials. So the persons that come that want to be a part, they know they have to come and they have to trial to be within that national program. It's not an automatic that they're going to automatically be a part of it. They have to come and trial, and then that shows that they're committed to be a part of the process. So our head coach of the senior league, Tony Machette, we are looking within the next 3 weeks to a month to have trials once again for the senior national team. For them to come in. Obviously, the under 21 group will also be able to trial in that match to see if some of them might be ready for the senior and or not. And in preparations of going to a tournament potentially next summer, we're looking at 2 options right now, and the latter being the York competition that we went to last year. That was actually really good to give us some exposure for, and also to help maintain our international ranking.
The relationship you guys have built with Quentin Sherlock over in Ghana, because you've had your what vice president?
Who's that?
Tall.
Oh, Danielle Reyna.
Danielle.
She was the previous first vice president.
Right.
Second vice president.
Second vice president. She spent some time over there,
Yes.
so exposing netball. I know Quentin has exposed golf to a lot of the young kids over there in netball. Looking at some of those videos, can we see more of that, like helping out other places, and actually allows, or more people going, and allows them to learn a little bit more about the sport, because they're actually now trying to teach it.
Yes. And it was actually first Mara Parfit was the first to go.
I couldn't
That's
remember.
fine. Mara Parfit was the first to go, and she encourages any players that want to come on board and be a part of it. She reaches out to people personally, you know, to ask them if they want to be a part of the experience. And she has been in communication with us for it being something that, you know, can kind of be turned over for us to encourage persons to go down and you know, be an advocate and basically teach the sport to those less fortunate than what we are here.
I mean, because if anybody was to see those videos of even Merle's videos and Danielle's videos, we're grateful.
We're grateful,
to play on surfaces that we play on, because these kids, no shoes on, dirt, but we're trying to do everything that they have been taught to do without care in the world, just having fun kind of thing. And I think those are the type of life experiences that even at a young age, if some of our players had that experience, they'll come back with a different mindset.
Yes, for sure. And one of the things the clubs definitely pulled together, because they sent tools and materials, they sent bibs, they sent uniforms that wasn't being utilized, they also sent bowls. There were like 8 bags of sneakers and shoes that were given to them. So it was definitely an experience that we would like to push for more people to potentially get involved in, for sure.
How many more games do we have to play to keep that ranking where it is over the next 2 years?
8.
So we're looking to have 8 at the senior level, or
At
just
the
play?
senior level, at the senior level.
That's international matches?
Yes, yes. They were international matches. So we have to be very strategic when we're planning where we're going to go, so that we can get bang for our buck. So we tend to try and enroll in tournaments that have several national teams that we can play at one time, versus you know, coming back and having to do one-on-one. And one of the things we'll also look to do is potentially host something here, but the rules doesn't state that we have to play 8 separate countries.
Right.
The rules state we have to play 8 matches. So if
okay.
it means that we have to have like mini, tri-series here in U.S. and Canada, then that's what we will do. But it just has to make sure that it's sanctioned and INF umpires are there and we send in the results and things like that.
You mentioned Bermuda possibly hosting or could host.
Yes.
Can you see that within the next 2 years, Bermuda hosting an event?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Where we definitely have had our eyes on a couple of facilities to see, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to, because when we played in New York, we went overseas, it was a gym that wasn't even lined out for netball, and literally what they done was taped out a netball court, make sure
within
it
the
within the gym, made sure it met the INF criteria, and we played 3 matches, and that went towards our world ranking, and it went towards our world ranking as well. When we went last year, so I don't see why it's an area that we would love to make sure that we can bring some matches here, so that we can let our locals experience the high level of play, because we need to allow them to see it. We try and do our best to put it online and different things like that, but sometimes when you have these little series like that, it's not a match that's aired like worldwide or anything like that. It's just something that we collectively as the countries are pushing each other, specifically in the African region, to try and offer more opportunities for each other.
What did you think of the Fast 5 tournament?
And Fast 5 is amazing. It's amazing.
When I first heard it, I was like, okay, what is this all about? And then to watch it.
Oh, it's amazing, right?
Yeah. How would they come up with that concept?
It's so
But
fast.
how would they come up with that concept, and why?
Well, why everybody's doing it? You want to push to try and get your sport in the Olympics. You want to push for it to be a part of that, and that was one of the areas that they saw. Okay, if we speed it up, if it's less people, if it's less whistles, if it's less, criteria that have to be met, that slows the game down, then it pushes it towards, potentially being on that radar to become, an Olympic sport. So. And then you have to make it attractive, right? So you have to make it, it's got to be extremely competitive.
Very much so,
be, so it has to kind of check all those boxes in order for it to be, and that it is, for sure.
Right.
Have that bonus round. They have the different point system. The semicircle is split into 2, and then you shoot outside there. It's 3. It's worth 3. So it's definitely something that is booming right now, and we do have that on our calendar of events. Where we will have a Fast 5 tournament with them.
I would encourage anyone right now that's listening, if you don't know what we're talking about, just go on YouTube and do Fast 5 Netball. They just recently finished a tournament that had me up at 5:30, 6 o'clock watching, because
wanting to get up, right?
What am I watching? This is too fast. This is but then it will probably take us a lot longer, or a little longer, to master that speed, because for them it's just repetitious. We don't have that training habit yet.
Well, one thing I can say, I don't think it's that. It's Fast 5, and you can only have 5 on the court as well.
Right.
So having 7 on the court kind of slows it up a little bit, right? Having 5 on the court opens up the court a lot more.
Yes.
You see a lot of long ball play. You see a lot of hard forward leads and change of direction, and all of those things like that are taking place in Fast 5. So even with our Fast 5 tournament here, which I'm sure you'll be down supporting, Arrow, you'll see a difference. You'll see that particular game, or those games, will be a lot faster, and than the 77 games. So
What, obviously you would have more information, but because you talked about netball wanting to become an Olympic sport, what has been the talk at the administration level of netball for this potential to be? Because one thing about the IOC, they want to make sure that the lowest country on the totem pole has an opportunity to experience an Olympic, involvement. So they have to make sure that it's not just going to be Australia, England, Jamaica, the ones with the 7 foot 3 girls
And
and
the ones that have $6 million
dollars. Yeah,
budgets that
yeah.
goes into
So what
developing
to level the
netball.
playing field? How is netball internationally working to ensure that places like Bermuda have that opportunity?
Well, that's why we have the AFNA region that is really putting together to push our 16 countries that's within our region to play more matches against each other to get more competitive environments. So we're starting there, and the committee is really doing a great job. I mean, there's talk within our groups and our chats almost every day about different tri-series and different countries that's going to these series, and everybody always wants to come to Bermuda. So
Right.
the pressure's kind of on us to get some.
We've got an open space up here where you guys could transform into two courts. And
Yeah.
of course, it's a little 39 million, but we can utilize it. It'll be the second time it's been used ever, so or third, fourth, something like that. So yeah, there's a spot up there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Ian wants you got to break
Well,
away to the
yeah,
news.
we're going to break away from news and we can come back with her right after news. So we're going to wrap up right now and we'll be back after news at about 6 or 7 minutes after 1.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Still in the studio is the president of the Bermuda Netball Association, Ms. Kamal Evans. Kamal, as we alluded to earlier, that you've been in the hot seat for 3 years. You've seen a lot of things change, a lot of things in the domestic as well as international. What's been the most challenging thing for you under your leadership?
One of the most challenging things, I would definitely say that it's hard for an organization of people that is very family oriented and very close knit to accept change and having ourselves to operate in a very professional manner. We're trying to take NAPO to the next level, which means administratively we have to do a better job. We have to make sure that we're getting the information out. We have to make sure all our I's are dotted and all our T's are crossed. And at times, sometimes there's a little bit of resistance from that, and teams not really being used to maybe like having the paperwork in on time, so we can make sure that our days are shortened a bit. As Earl said, we're down there all day, specifically when the junior leagues start. So we're just trying to make teams a lot more accountable for their actions, both on and off the court, and that's an area that's been very challenging. I can also say on a personal level, with myself being the president, I also am involved and have my own club. And I know that's a point of contention sometimes, and we do our best to try and separate the two. The unfortunate part is that because we are such a small community, we have multiple people down there wearing multiple hats, and to be able to differentiate between the two. Also, with that, I coach a team within the senior league. So I find that it's a lot of pressure, that's put on an individual, and I'm sure you know that whenever you're a president of an organization, you're always looked at as if you're the president. You should handle yourself in a certain manner, and not realizing, okay, today I'm actually just a coach. And I should be kind of, adhering, I should adhere to whatever the rules and regulations are, just the same as anyone else. But I think, it's just natural for people to kind of put you up there on a pedestal, and I'm only human, and make you more accountable. So it's an area that it's a really sticky situation at times. And that's why we're really working hard to try and encourage more people to come on board and be a part administratively and give back in whatever way they potentially can.
Right. You and Earl had mentioned earlier about games being played all day, or spending time at the stadium, at the facility itself, from 12 noon or something, or 10 in the morning to like 12. Sometimes 8 at night.
Yes.
8. Again, I'm going back to when Earl and I were growing up and you were growing up. Then Warwick, Ward, down by Baptist Builder Supply, Rubber Tree, was a netball facility.
Yes.
If it was open or able to reopen it, put the surface in there and possibly take, I don't know, the senior league or the junior league there on a Saturday, would that alleviate an all-day process?
Probably not. I mean, to have it all in one spot
is the best
is the best thing.
Really?
Because
then
the
lot of the senior coaches coach the juniors as well.
Yes.
So you don't want them moving all over the place.
So you're saying the senior coaches are coaching the juniors, then the seniors are playing themselves?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's similar. It's more like the clubs that are in the senior division have junior clubs.
Right.
So some of those coaches or referees are there. So you start the day coaching or refereeing, and you go right into your playing any night.
Yeah.
All right, so it comes down to numbers.
Yeah, it's definitely a numbers.
It's a numbers game.
And we encourage all clubs to get their senior players involved in some way, shape, or form, whether it's coming down and umpiring the junior matches and things like that. One of our mandates that we're really pushing forward with this year, we have someone coming on board to do an umpires course that will be available for all potential umpires, as well as for PE teachers and things like that. So it's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that hopefully we will reap some rewards from once they happen.
Well, you can always bring them on Inside Sports Talk Radio and share the information.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Because it helps. Just what
It does, and
Right.
that's why
That's what you
I
need.
thoroughly appreciate this opportunity to come on and talk about the sport of netball and get it out there. There are several people that listen and tune in, and I think that that's also putting us out there because we're getting ourselves out there on social media. We're getting our opportunities out there as much as we can, and really trying to push this forward. So we are very grateful for both of you guys. That are continually supportive of netball.
If the person coming on to give the rules and regulations, you said a person that was a former umpire?
Yes.
Right. Do you know the date when this is going to take place?
Well, right now we're in talks.
Okay.
And we will have to put something together. We do have an online course where people can take to gauge to see where they are at. That we will try and pull back up and bring it online, where persons can go in for a small fee and see where their skills are at. And then basically what I find is that a lot of people understand the rules when they're on paper. It's actually putting it into practice.
That's what you're saying.
And so we need to have someone to be able to shadow, like a match commissioner,
right,
basically overseeing the umpires to make sure what they're doing. And it's nice to also get some feedback, so we're trying to do our best to improve in all areas, because if we improve in our umpires, if we improve our coaches, then we will definitely have improvement within our players.
Talking about umpiring, because we all know only 50% of the people like an umpire's call, because the other 50% love it for that particular call. How are you guys managing to have some consistency? Because we watch other sports, and that's all people talk about: consistency in officiating. So how are you guys managing that consistency in the sport of netball?
Well, for me, we're definitely, when it comes to the senior league, not anybody can umpire. There have to be umpires that have been experienced for a few years. With the juniors, especially the under 12s, is developmental, so it's not as critical at that stage. It's just kind of maybe getting people to get their confidence up, being able to make calls. And if I'm honest, the under 12s is probably harder than the seniors, because they're still just learning the sport.
If I could tell you what footwork is.
without slowing it down.
Right.
But I can just say that we're grateful for the people that step up, and they can only be as consistent as they personally are. I can't vouch for anybody, because I'm not in the position that they are, and obviously we all see things from different angles. And so we're just trying to get our players to respect the umpire's calls. We've put out a code of conduct as well as rules and regulations, and those are areas that are highlighted very much so for players to leave the umpires alone.
Maybe
disciplinary
maybe you should forward those rules and conduct stuff to some other sports around Bermuda. So
at the end of the day, based on what I saw on Saturday, I think the players were done extremely well for the most part, with respecting the umpire's decisions, because at the end of the day, it's not going to change.
No, it's not.
So we have to try and get our players being able to accept those rules and being able to just consistently play through it. And I think that if we start to offer some penalties as far as behavior, whether it be them having to miss out on matches and things like that, but those are the areas that I said administratively that we're really striving to improve in order for us to be able to do better.
Well, I was there on Saturday. In your match, a call was continuously made, and I heard you say to your assistant coach, but I can't see where the infringement is. But I saw you go to the umpire at the end of the halftime.
Yes.
To find out what is that the way you want things to be managed?
Well,
kind of thing?
realistically, yes. The captain of the team for the day is the only person that technically should. So yes, smack on the wrist for me for going to, because I just wanted to know.
Right. In order if somebody's constantly getting called for an infringement, you want to know what the infringement is to tell the person don't do it, kind of thing.
Exactly. So the right idea is to have your captain approach the umpire and find out what exactly the player is doing, why they're continuously getting called for that, and then it's up to us to make those adjustments.
Right.
You might obviously there are two umpires. one's doing one half and one's doing the other. So it's very important that our thinking speed is a lot quicker as well, because the reality of it always is you can only do what you can get away with.
Yeah.
And if it means that you can't do it on this half and you can do it on the other,
Right.
then, you know, we have to make those adjustments. So definitely that's what should have happened in that case.
Right. I was kind of concerned, not because when you said it to the assistant coach, it kind of brought my attention to, let me see what I could see, you know, and I'm not, you know, expert on
Exactly.
the calls, so I'm just as lost as everybody else. So
Exactly.
you know, it's always good to know what the infringement is, so that you can advise the person who's being called for the infringement to either to not do it or change your tactics in trying to defend, because it was a defensive. Yeah, it was only defensive end, wasn't
Yes,
it? Yeah,
it was.
So,
It was.
yeah.
And you know, I'm very passionate about the sport, as are most people, and you know, I hate to lose, just
Right.
probably like everybody else. But at the end of the day, you know, I feel individually a lot of us down there are growing, and you know, I think with these rules in place, I'm not attacking, we're seeing that. Whereas, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see it. You know, I wasn't saying, well, she's making the wrong call.
Right.
You know,
No, you
she
didn't
should
say
be
that.
doing
You didn't
this,
say
or
that,
she
yeah.
should be doing that.
Yeah, just want to
you
know what
it's
the call
just
is.
kind of respecting the umpire's
Right.
decisions, and that's what it is.
Question: You have one of the youngest, if not the youngest, team in the senior division.
I do.
What goal? Because you played a very experienced team, the
Yes.
defending champions for the
Yes.
last 2 or 3 years, something like that.
Probably 4 or 5.
Right. So you set yourself goals, and was one of your first goals that make sure you were over the half score line first, and then, or what was your?
Well, one thing, because my team is a very young team, one of the things that I definitely deal with is the mental aspect of the game. They have all other attributes. You know, they have the speed, they have the footwork, they have the ball handling skills. But the mental toughness is an area that will probably come with maturity.
Right.
So one of the things that, you know, we try to encourage them to do is to stick to our tactics. But they're very easily swayed, you know, because it's heat of the moment and different things
people
like
on the
that.
side saying other things.
People on the side saying different things and what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. One of the things that I can say that I pride myself on my team being pretty much very disciplined. A disciplined team that is like just kind of going through the motions and doing, for the most part, what is expected. I mean, we're gonna all make errors. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. But we can grow from them. And one of the things we encourage is that, you know, afterwards we say, okay, well, during that game as a coach, I was probably really, you know, on them about certain things.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was a match. It's over with. Let's move forward. I try and encourage them, specifically when they play that team, which is the Phoenix Heat, and you know, shout out to them because they done a fantastic job. Basically, to try and relax.
Right.
Really, I don't even worry about the let's try and get a point out of it. I just want them to relax, and have fun, and enjoy the game when they're playing them, because they're already all in their heads when they get there, you know. So one of the things I'm trying to get them to do is just take them out of that and just say, just have fun, because they have all those attributes, and if they're having fun and enjoying it, they'll naturally just come out.
One thing, this is an opportunity for you and your organization to sort of gain some extra interest in vendors.
Yes.
You guys are there from 12 to 9, and it's a long day. It's more than, I would say, 150 people throughout the day.
Yes.
Opportunity for vendors to come down and you know, make some money, get their businesses out there. So it's over to you. This is your opportunity.
Definitely opportunities to vendors, but we like to use the opportunities to kind of stay within and give the opportunities to the clubs to, you know, basically, you know, for this weekend have bake sales, you know, maybe sell water and juices and things like that. So we definitely put it out to the clubs first. Some clubs are, you know, looking to traveling next year as a club and different things like that. So we want to put it out there to them, as well as for the association, because we're actively, continuously trying to fundraise to send teams away and things like that. So we try and utilize it ourselves. and selling of drinks and different things like that, because it's people continuously there. So it's like, we want to try and just do like the light snacks and things like that. The people that really need the food is the people like me that's there all day.
Right.
The other coaches that have several teams. I think Phoenix coach is one of them that's there all day, as well as North Village coaches. They're there all day.
I just think the option of having a vendor there, an edge to it kind of thing. And I understand that you guys have big sales, because I see that a lot. It's just that opportunity there, and I mean, it could be for a vendor that's involved in the sport.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That they're not even thinking, oh, let me just have a little bake sale. But no, I have a license. I can, sell goods. And
I can tell you, with the title sponsor coming on board, it's going to be booming down there. It's a lot of fun things that's going to be happening, giveaways throughout the season. And things of that nature. So we're definitely looking to try and beef up the vibe down there and make it a lot more enjoyable.
Okay,
cool. Anything else you'd like to add that we did not ask, ma'am?
No, I'd just like to thank those that continue to support netball, whether it be as a coach, whether it be as a parent, and whether it be as a player. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate the sponsorship that we are receiving, and hope to continuously receive to try and get our sport to where we know we can be.
Sure. I know Mr. Basin does his best on it, takes it, puts it all on his that's where he gets the information out there. That's
and
why
the video coverage is the best.
It's the best. That's why he likes to play.
Hey, we had some tourists down there this past Saturday saying, "What is this sport?" They came and they were like, "What is this sport? It's interesting. It's really technical." And I just encouraged them to try and Google and just gave them some simple, basic rules of the game, and they were like, "Thank you so much. We're gonna tell somebody." So I think the fact of making it a lot more attractive as well. They cleared out all those trees. You can sport. Shout out to them. It's gonna be more clearing of the trees and things like that.
Good.
So it's gonna be some good things happening down there.
Cool. I was watching real quick an NFL game last night, and the commentators were saying the guy played for one of the teams, I can't remember, and he's like offensive lineman was holding. He goes, well, he's from down under, and where he's from, he plays cricket and stuff like that. And cricket, do they catch? I just burst all that. They didn't know.
But you're a sports commentator. Well, you only
them.
American.
No, it's NFL, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, so he only commentates on NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, he needs to widen his
Broaden his horizon.
And broaden it,
You're absolutely right. So I'm telling you, look,
NFL.
Send him an email stuff. Learn about some cricket, learn about netball. I can hear him now. Netball? What is netball?
Don't even talk to me about NFL, like football, and they use their hands.
Yeah. NFL. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
No problem.
All
Thank you.
Not a problem. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be back after this.
on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
And welcome back. Thank you, Mrs. Evans. Kamala Evans, the president of the Bermuda Netball Association, joining us in the studio, gives a thorough interview on what's happening for the 2018-2019 season and the things that she's accomplished under her leadership and the way forward for netball. So we wish them all the best in that. And of course, now we've got Mr. Jacon Ednis joining us in the studio, and she bigged him up, his department, as she's doing. She sees good things that this department is doing for netball. So kudos to you, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem.
That sky blue looks good on you, boy.
Yeah, man, every now and then. I'm so confident in my the colors that I don't even think about it anymore. You know, beats and Georgia
Just
so much.
just a little red in there in your shirt.
Well, beats and Georgia so much that
Who was talking
I
about
could
that day? I
wear
was
it.
talking about the fact that youth and sport have a different look now.
Okay.
See where you're going?
I can assure you, Mr. Ednis, he was referring to color.
No, I was
I'm
not.
pretty sure he was.
No, I was not. No, I was not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's your guess. Go ahead for that.
Well, we stole his thunder earlier. We had a long conversation about the sports awards,
Sports awards, the process.
The nomination forms went out today.
Today, yes, they can be found at our office on Wesley Street, also at Pro Shop and International Sports Shop. That's where they can be found right now at this present time.
Deadline is the 15th.
14th.
14th of
Of
December.
December, which is a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, yeah. So
Why
14th
you
of
telling me
December.
15th, man?
14th.
Okay.
Of December. Again, that's to to ensure that it encompasses the year. We don't want it to go into January again, and then some people think somebody does something on January 8th, and they say, "Oh, I need to get my
Right.
application in," but no, it's
Right.
really for that calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to finish it off end of December, beat the Christmas rush, and then get moving.
What is the biggest challenge? Well, you've been involved. What's this? Your second year, third year?
Third year
In the process.
Yeah.
Your challenge.
The challenge is just getting the awareness out and encouraging people to participate. Some people take a negative approach to sports. Was, oh, I'm tired of nominating, and my person I nominate doesn't win. I mean, that's life. You know, sometimes.
Yeah. It's just like buying a lottery ticket.
Yeah, that's what happens. Not every time you win. And also, a challenge is, people nominate someone but don't put the necessary information to back that athlete up.
Right.
So you fill in the paperwork, but you leave out newspaper articles, pictures, personal best times, whatever the case may be. You really have to sell your athlete so that they can get the recognition they deserve.
It's almost like they're prepping for an award themselves because they're nominating that person, and at the end of the night, if that person gets the award, then you contribute to the person.
You want it as well.
Yeah.
You put things forward. It's just all about presenting the total package, not just the written aspect, but also show what that athlete has done if you think he or she is so deserving of an award.
Yeah, I think the one of the things that has made it even more interesting is the junior component that was added, I think, 3 years ago as well, 3 or 4 years ago, where you now have a junior female and male athlete of the year.
Right.
And they also get achievement awards as well?
Yeah, we have junior achievement,
Right.
senior achievement, junior and senior male and female athletes of the year.
Right.
So it's different awards that can be won. We have sports citation. That's for people, organization committees and different things like that who, in the past and present, doesn't even have to be a present athlete.
Right.
It could be an athlete that was exceptional in the 70s that we've forgotten about.
Right.
That could
Or
be
an administrator.
Or an administrator.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, last year was we celebrated the Devonshire Diamondettes.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I had never heard of them. I'm a little brand new, but but to see the amount of pride
Mm-hmm.
in those women's faces when they were acknowledged, it was like it felt good.
They filled the stage.
Yeah, they filled the stage. They filled the
But
venue.
you know what the thing is? On that night, a lot of people would have looked at those ladies and said, I see that lady every day. Would have never known.
Never known.
You know?
Yeah, so it's amazing. I mean, what these awards do and what sports could do for society.
I asked Earl earlier, and I'm just putting it back to you, right? I'm going to say I'm a sports company buddy. I nominate Peter every year. He doesn't get nominated. Is there another process? Because I was asking, do you think that the sports governing bodies have a personal agenda against the Department of Youth and Sport of the process of nominating an athlete?
I wouldn't say. Some people agree with it, some people don't.
Mhm.
I mean, in this day and age, you can't please everybody.
Mm.
You understand? We have people from different sections of the sporting world
Mhm.
sitting at that table,
Mhm.
so no one can ever say that it's all cricket people sitting at the table,
Mm.
or it's all track and field people sitting at. No one could ever say that because we have different walks of life from the sporting world at that table, and also it's a process. It's a ranking process
Mm.
where numerical figures are installed, and whoever comes up with the highest amount of the 6 or 7 committee members,
Mm.
obviously will get an award.
Do you think that process may be outdated? Meaning, as telling Earl, everything is done on the computer, everything's done with the mouse. Now, if I click of a mouse, I nominate Ian, I nominate Jacon, I nominate Earl. People are probably saying, I don't feel like going through the process of filing information on Jacon as a former cup match captain for Somerset. He led them to 3 victories. They may feel like that's not my responsibility.
Yeah, if
Then
you
you don't get it recognized.
Fair enough. That's what I'm saying. Do you think that process, because you're putting the onus back onto the governing bodies, do you think that process is outdated?
No, I don't, because at the end of the day, not everyone. Different sports have different levels of what's the word I'm looking for, advertisement or recognition.
Right.
So you would know more about a football player naturally because it's in the paper more often than you would know about someone from a lesser sport.
Right.
So someone even from football or cricket, whatever, you still have to sell your athlete. You understand?
No, I got that.
So I'm all for the process. We can't take any more shortcuts and just say, I nominate Jacon Adnis. He deserves it.
Right.
That's the end of the story.
No, and that part I agree with you. All I'm saying is, if you nominate Jacon Adnis or Earl Baston, yes, you want some facts behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You want the facts and the figures of why you're nominating that person. I'm saying, just being devil's advocate here, John,
Not a problem.
that I don't feel like giving you the facts and figures because it's already out there. You should know this. You get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Right? And that's how some of these people are looking at it, right?
Right.
I get the process, what you're saying. To me, it's very straightforward. It's very easy what you're asking
Some
for.
people honestly
right?
believe it's a popularity contest, so they'll get everybody in the family to just write the person's name, fill out the paperwork, and no attached documents, but
And right, that's what I'm
send
saying.
them 50 papers.
So that's not the way you're asking. You're asking, give us the facts
Right.
on why
not a bad-
Earl ran 100
Yeah,
meters
yeah.
in 10.7 seconds. What was his year entail? What does your entail? I'm sorry. And so it's real simple, but people are like looking at it like, I don't feel like doing it. It's hard. I ain't got the time. But yet they're the same ones that will criticize. Do not get me wrong.
yeah.
Do not get me wrong.
The first. They'll be
you're
the
right about
first
that.
to criticize.
That's why I was asking, is there by any means a new process that can make it easier, or have you thought about sharing the information? Like, can we get this out there? Because what you're going to go through now, you guys have been through for the last 5 or 6 years or more. And I feel sorry for what you guys go through.
Yeah, but I said it earlier. The onus, the majority of the onus goes back on the NSGB because they have
Correct.
every bit of documentation on their athletes.
Or a nominator. That it might
Well,
not be an NSGB.
right, but here lies if you were my son, I would have every bit of information because I go to the events with you or whatever.
Yeah.
But if I was a cousin that's not necessarily as close, if I nominate you, I'm going to be missing a lot of information that could actually help you to get an award for the night. Because I just want to say, well, I just want to make sure that I'm recognized. Okay, what little do I know? Okay, he captained Somerset. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's all I put in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't put in the years. I don't put in significant performances. I don't put in, you know what I mean?
No,
Just
I get
things that
that.
would actually increase his chances of the people that are sitting around the table who probably didn't even know the information until they read it.
So for those who are listening, the best way to do is go to Island Stats.
www.islandstats.com.
and save a lot of your headaches.
Information
is there. Go to Island Stats.
There.
It's there. Cut and paste. Even if the words are correct.
Yeah.
Copy and paste them, sorry. That's what you gotta do. But it's so easy and people make it like it's so hard. That's why I feel sorry for you guys. I'm being honest.
Sometimes I've gotten that book and I've been disappointed on several occasions that I don't see certain people nominated from particular sports.
Wow.
And like I told you earlier, I've talked to some sports and they're like, well, I stack my people up against other people in other sports and I don't think they stand a chance, so I'm not going to nominate them. And that to me is discouraging. You know what I mean? Because imagine if I was the athlete putting in all the hard work,
Yep.
and my administrator decides,
The pay.
decides, oh, I'm not going to, you're not going to do that.
So then let's go back there again. So let's be real. Philadelphia's been the most dominant female athlete in Bermuda for the last 3 to 5 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If another female is out there that's doing extremely well,
Mm-hmm.
and she's being recognized for the 2018 season,
Mm-hmm.
but her governing body says, we're not going to put her up because we're going to have against Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that runs through
But then you
the system.
denied that person
the opportunity.
an award.
Of
Yeah.
course, that will
Yeah.
run through
That's-
someone's mind.
Yeah.
That's natural.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, sometimes when even in sports, if you're playing, you're playing against bad opposition,
Mm-hmm.
but you do not take the field because you feel there's a chance of losing.
Right.
You take the field because you know there's a chance
Chance
of
of
winning.
If I put enough
I
information,
agree with you.
Yeah. So that's just the you take
Yeah.
the rough with the smooth.
yeah.
All right. And I'm sure that female could stand a good chance of winning something.
Well, see, this is the thing. If you don't nominate the person, they stand no chance of getting any award on the
At
night.
all.
At all.
So their whole year of accomplishing feats in that particular sport will go unrecognized by the entire island because someone decided they can't win the one award that they want them to get in. And that, to me, you've cheated the athlete.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. I agree. So nominations opened up today.
Mm-hmm.
And again, where are they available to, Mr.?
International Sports Shop, Pro Shop, and at our head office on Wesley Street.
Mhm.
Also working on getting out a tax blast to digital,
Mm-hmm.
and that will ensure that people can get the electronic versions of it. So that they're out there.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. And then just moving forward a bit for the 2019 season, the awards are usually held in February, March.
March. Yeah.
You guys haven't set a date as of yet, correct?
So far, the date is set at March
is.
21st,
Okay. All right.
which is a Thursday evening.
Oh, you're going back to okay. All right.
Yeah.
Same
at the
location.
Fairmont, Southampton.
All right. I like how you said it. Got
The
the order.
Fairmont.
At the Fairmont, Southampton, the 21st of March.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's what we're looking at. Hopefully it ends up being a good night. Hopefully Earl was impressed with the bombardment of nominees that come in. And it's improving. People actually putting time in
Mm-hmm.
to ensure
I was
that
pleased
they're
this time
actually-
around, and I got the bond.
this year.
Yeah, this year.
Okay, that's good then.
I was pleased.
So we're on the right path.
Yeah.
We're on the right path. So at the end of the day, it's just about recognizing your athlete, knowing that he or she has put in the hard yards. Again, all nominators do not have to be a part of a national sport governing body.
That's cool.
It could be someone's auntie, uncle, mother, father.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you feel you can sell your athlete, you don't have to be a part of the sporting governing body. So, don't wait for the sporting governing body to nominate
Right.
who you think should be nominated.
Right.
You can take it into your own hands.
Right. And you know what's interesting, just reflecting what you got saying here. From January 1st to whatever year it is to excuse me, to the end of that year, when we go to work on Monday, what do we talk about the first thing we get to work?
Sports.
Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Every Monday.
It's a powerful tool.
It's very powerful.
And if your team wins.
Even if your team
Loses.
loses,
Well, you don't want
motivation.
to. I heard you say something about I have to watch the game by myself. I can't watch it with other people.
Who you talking about? Me or you talking about?
I'm
Jacob?
just putting it out there.
I'm
I'm just talking about.
Who you talking to? Me?
I'm just putting it out there.
Wait, no, I need to know who you referring to. Myself or Jacon?
Don Bassett. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying
I'm
anything.
gonna say it very. I'm gonna say it correctly.
No.
Those who know me, no, I wouldn't say that.
What do you mean?
I watch sports of anyone.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm just saying I heard
Different
this.
preferences.
I just
Yes,
heard
that's
those
me. I like
words,
to
and
watch
I was
by
kind of
myself.
concerned. That,
Hey, he said it. He said it.
Who?
Say it again, sir.
I like to watch by myself if I'm watching sports. I like to analyze and critique and listen. I don't want to be bothered by anyone.
How did that work out for you this weekend?
Worked out all right. Worked out all right. You know, worked out all right. We did well. One more point.
Yeah.
One more point to
We're in third place.
to the good cause.
Oh, you talking for the same team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cup
One more
match,
point to the
football,
cause.
you name it.
I know who's not for in football in Bermuda.
No, it's not for them. They're
Yeah.
not their football team. No.
Well, they made it to the final.
I don't know how.
Hey, you just got to outschool the other team, you know. Like he said.
They took the field.
That's
with a
right.
Chance
of
of
winning.
winning.
That's right.
And they won.
And, yeah.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
And they're going to do that on the cup final day. And if it works out in their favor, guess what?
Biggest,
And if they go on, they'll take the cup with them.
biggest upset, isn't it?
Well,
Well, one of the biggest.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the biggest upsets.
they even stood around like, what just happened? Did we win? Yeah, you won.
Did we win?
Yeah, you won.
Are you sure we won?
Yeah.
One of those deals. But not
Good, good. Check, referee, let me check your book just to make sure that we, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
it.
But I mean, but that's the thing. You take the field, you take the opportunity to actually come out on top. And if you don't, then any chance of you winning, you gave it away.
Yeah, just by not participating.
Yeah. So, you know, there's enough athletes that take to sporting competitions on a weekly basis when it's in their season. And if the sporting governing body or people in general who admire some of these people don't take the opportunity to acknowledge what that person's been able to accomplish, then you kind of hurt the person's chances. And on the night, if that person does get an award, it doesn't have to be the biggest award.
No, it's
if
an
you
award.
get an award,
It's important.
man, that's you know how proud that person would feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to hang that on the wall that I've been recognized for my
Share the children, grandchildren.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's why I take it to heart, man. I hear people talking about, oh, you stack myself up against, or you stack my athlete up against somebody like Floyd Duffy. There's no chance. Okay, but
There are other awards.
who's to say that Floyd's going to be nominated?
That's true. That's another good point. She may not be nominated this year.
There you go.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely,
but it has happened. It
right.
has happened.
But there have been opportunities where a national sport governing body won't put a favorite person in
Yeah.
because they've either forgotten or they just missed the opportunity.
Or they took it for granted.
Well, yeah, that too. So, listen, get the paperwork in, fill out as much information as you possibly can for the individual or individuals, the team, you know, a past person that's been involved in a club, administrative, you know, doing administrative work, and listen, if you want the person to be recognized, pen to paper.
There you go.
Simple.
Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Edness?
No, just thank you guys for having me once again.
Not a problem, man.
Like I said, nomination forms out today. Nominations close December 14th. That's
Good
it.
stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
You nominating anyone?
It's a possibility, yeah. Man, it's a possibility. There's the Somerset Cup match team. It's definitely a possibility. 2-1. Somerset's top 4 batsmen made a history in cup match, or make it over 50. Yeah, that's a possibility. You're part of that team, weren't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Remember, I'm on the committee.
That's a nigga. hey, he's showing his colors. He's showing his colors.
I will put a
There you
one
go.
behind it.
Yeah.
If we have 12, they won't make the top 10.
He's showing the colors. He's showing his
But
colors.
the good thing about that is,
that's just
the good thing about that is, right? With the information in front of you, you go by it, and you have a process in which,
Yeah.
if I feel the accomplishment is the best for the year, then it goes up top.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, and then somebody else might look at it and say, well, okay, maybe it's the second. So now, instead of the person getting 2 top marks, they get one. And a second one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the process of, that's why he said.
I know you said one. I caught on.
Right.
Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead. No, I thought you
The
said
numerical, because at the end of it, everybody's paper is done in secret ballot.
Right.
It goes, they count it, and at the end, the numbers come out.
The tally numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, mine wouldn't be individual, be for team effort.
Right,
That's
right,
how I look at it.
right.
I'm thinking of the stats that happened this year in cup
Yeah.
match. That I think it was.
But it's nothing stopping a
It's never happened
stopping
in
a
cup match.
team from accomplishing as if it's all male, it could be the male athletes of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
This
That's
is a
true.
team performance.
Team performance. But I'm just looking at the. I'll get a little different than that. I just put it in a different category as a team after whatever. I just never seen any cup match in the history of it. 115th, 116th year, was it? 17th year, can't remember. But the fact is, the top 4 batsmen on either team, some of St. George's, made 50 or more runs. It's never happened. That's just like
I still ain't seen it.
You haven't? Well, I can understand you run on the yard.
Right.
But
So
it
hasn't happened.
Right, that's understandable. and then I can understand you don't want to see that because your team lost. So I get that.
No.
That's not a problem.
If I was here, I would have seen it, but I wasn't here,
Right.
so I haven't seen it.
No need to worry. I can tell you the story, and you can just envision it. Envision.
Not necessarily envision.
Right, he hasn't seen. There's not much highlights about it. He hasn't seen it. So I believe it.
Yeah, before you summed it up, very much highlights for you to see in your way, in your favor.
You know, we go back.
Yeah, we go back. We go way back. Yeah, say it again.
Right.
Say it to me.
Everything that you're doing now
I need
has been done.
Has
been done.
No, not the top 4. That's never happened.
Other than that, okay. What else?
Yeah.
What else?
Well, again, we have the most victories, so that's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So what? It's the first time that someone's won 2-1 in over. I think it was in 1935 or 45.
Been a number of years.
Number of years. But that's Chacon. He bowed out. He retired. So
He's running.
He's running.
Running.
Oh, I'll let him speak for you on that one. You guys.
I tell him. I'll tell him again. He's running.
Are you running?
What am I running from?
Oh, there you go.
Ow.
He's already had the L. He had his first year.
First year. Yeah.
His first year.
He don't want to out to end it.
How many years did you play after your first defeat?
I lost to St. George a few times. Before as captain, we
No,
lost
as captain. I'm talking about as captain.
We lost in 2011.
Right, and then it's one since.
And we've been in
That's my point. So you played for 7 years after that.
Any point?
If I
It's
was, I
been
would have
winning.
thought
That's
if
my
I
point.
was running, I would have ran
After 2011.
After 2012.
No.
Then we won.
No. You know you had a better team. You know that. Now it's starting to age a little bit and starting to get worried a little bit. Yeah, you see it crumbling down. Yeah. That's why he left him when he leave. Hey, but I gotta give. I'm telling you now. I know we're digressing a little off of what. I have to give you credit for hanging in there with Best in Stars this year, because a lot of other people would have walked away with. I mean, the numbers that you guys were getting, the results you guys were getting, but as a senior player, you showed some leadership.
It's never easy, showing up and losing every. But even at Somerset, even if we won cup match, we got relegated.
Right.
Yeah.
And I stayed the following year to ensure that they went back up.
Right.
Then I went Best in Stars, and then we got relegated. But that's where I started. Everybody has their needs. They have a need for someone to be around and guide the next generation. So I guess that somebody's got to be me. So
am I hearing right? You're playing that shit?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm more about development now.
Right.
Especially my role as the senior development officer at Youth and Sports. So I'm not really interested in personal stats anymore. I'm more interested in helping wherever I can. So if this year it leads to me more doing the coaching and managerial side of things, then so be it. But if I'm needed to play on a Sunday, I will. But it's not necessarily something I'm pushing for. If we have the numbers, we have youngsters there, I'm letting them play. On first division, what else could happen?
Right.
You understand? Right. So they have to learn. That's all I learned.
Right.
They drew me the gloves as a 14, 15 year old. Say, yeah, go try it out. And it worked out over time. But I gotta learn, gotta develop.
Right.
And people's gotta look. When it's your time to go to the background and start pushing somebody else. And I was honest with myself. I knew my party was over. In myself, mentally and physically. I said, look, somebody else gotta go. And that's just what it is.
I heard you talk I think last season or season before last about trying to put together a wicket-keep sort of camp to increase numbers because we're lacking in that regard. It's quality, and in that, do you still have ideas about that?
I have a lot of ideas that go through my
I'm
head
putting you on the spot
about all different types of sports, all different types of, because as we all know, sports is at a crossroads right now on Island, where performances are not as consistent as they used to be. The time and effort is not there, but but you still play for the love of it, and we need more people in each sport to give back, to try to help change the culture of sport on Ireland, to ensure that our small island can continue to punch above our weight, because we did it numerous occasions in the past in a lot of different sports. Florida Dolphins doing it right now. Tyler Butterfield, Nicky Bascom.
You can go down a list.
Yeah, Clarence Hill back in the day.
I often say to people, in comparison to sports, because a lot of people have walked away from it saying, "Oh, the talent isn't there. These guys are this. These guys are that." And I say to them, I say, well, if you have a child who's struggling in school, do you give up on them? No. You try to give them tools to help them. So by walking away from the sport, you've actually thrown your hands up and done the sport an injustice.
Yeah, a disservice.
Yeah. So hang around, try to be encouraging, as opposed to being negative, and then something may change.
Something may change, and it's all about attitudes, getting the attitudes and culture right,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can move forward. Then hopefully, some infrastructure and different things like that could be installed, because that's the only way athlete or talent can develop.
Yes.
With infrastructure. You don't have infrastructure, it just makes the fight that much harder.
So before you go, the last time, forms are out for the Sports Awards 2018, started today. Sports, where are they to?
Pro Shop, International Sports Shop, head office. Eventually the electronic copies will go out as well. So, but for right now, hard copies, Sports Shop, International Sports Shop, Pro Shop, and at our offices.
And your office is where?
8 Wesley Street. Don't ask me for the postcode. HM 11. Right next to City Hall.
Right next to August Building.
Yep.
You gotta say
Craig Appin
Yeah, I just say. Because a lot of people will stand there and say, okay, there's no sign that says using sport, let me keep driving.
True. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Yeah, thanks for your time,
No
guys.
worries, man. It's always
Really
having you on board. It's a pleasure, man.
Not
It's
a
a pleasure.
problem.
Why you gotta look at me?
Who?
Oh,
him?
I thought you was looking at me.
No. I don't think you for.
I don't know.
That's Somerset. That's St. George's.
Well, I wasn't expecting that comment. Always a pleasure to have you come from Earl, but
But
yeah.
it was a pleasure
so-
too. Jacon, every time you're in my presence, it's always a pleasure. Because I always leave you with a smile on your face. Okay? Just like that. See that? Let's take a commercial break.
Radio. Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Ennis, for joining us on Inside Sports Talk Radio and Island Stats today. Very informative what he mentioned, and of course he was rehashing things that you had mentioned earlier. That's why I said I feel sorry for you guys' challenge of nominating athletes of the year in various other categories, teams, and you name it. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
And we criticize the organizations, we criticize the governing body, but when we want to make nominations put forth, we don't do anything. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy,
It just
crazy.
doesn't.
Crazy. Just real quick before we wrap up, I had an opportunity to see an NFL game last night. I was watching the New Orleans Saints and Los Angeles Rams. And, you know, in football, there's usually one team that dominates the offense. Do you remember the days of AFC had in the 80s? This is where Dan Marino was the quarterback. So he was high flying, right?
Right.
You know, Mark Duper and those guys, wide receivers, right? Then the 49ers at the West Coast,
Right.
you know, offense, right? I watched the Saints and the Rams last night. If I'm correct, the Saints had a 24-point lead, right? 24-point lead going into... They cut down to 21 by halftime. 21-point lead, right? You know, Rams just rolled off 21 points, tied the game up at 35-all.
Whoa.
Right? And then the Saints just rolled off 10 points. You know, field goal first and then a touchdown, right? And that was some high flying, like, guys were just running 40 yards to 35 yards to, and they just ran like to the wide receivers. Running backs were running like 12 yards to 8 yards to. And I'm just saying, damn. I never seen two teams go back and forth like that in football.
Momentum.
In NFL football.
Yeah. One thing about momentum,
Jesus, man.
once you get into that mood, it only takes a drop catch to swing it back.
No, in this case, it wasn't about, okay, I see where you're going. It wasn't about the drop catch. It wasn't about a fumble or anything like that. It's just that when the offense came and each team presented the offense, the teams could not be stopped.
Yeah.
One team will usually dominate, the other team will say, I'll hold you, right?
Right.
Or they'll both dominate one half and the second half one of them will fade. Man, it was going back and forth, man. I've never seen nothing like that.
I'm just mesmerized at the technology used nowadays. As when we were growing up watching NFL football, you would see a guy sitting on the bench with a book.
Oh, yeah, a book and a pen.
Yeah, nowadays they're watching
iPads.
videos.
Yeah, iPads. Yeah.
They're watching the play real time. There's no X's and O's.
No.
It's real time. You know, you're watching
everything. You got it.
And that, because some of these players can't visualize X's and O's anymore.
Well, yeah, because they were brought up in that era.
Right.
No,
you're
right.
Seeing it and seeing, okay, you plant your left foot too far wide, that's why you was able to be knocked over and the quarterback got hit or whatever. Right. You know, something as simple as that. And then he goes back out and he doesn't make that mistake again because he's now seeing it.
Yeah.
You know, in the game and not, oh, well, we'll have to work on it in training. We go watch videos in training. And that's, you know, he made that mistake in the first quarter, but we did nothing to correct it.
True.
So they're doing that during the game, which actually helps the viewers because you can see that run and gun all the time now.
I was just mesmerized. I just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. And what you're saying is exactly right because then the teams went on offense and then they'll cut away from the opposing team. You can see the offensive coaches preparing for when they get ready to play offense, right? With the wide receivers or the tackles or guards, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dang, man. I mean, it was like high flying. Right? Unbelievable. Nevertheless, so good.
All right.
Don Bassett, thank you very much for taking up the slack.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, guys, anytime, man.
I know you'll be back at your normal schedule next week, so we welcome you aboard. We're not on next week Monday because it's a holiday.
It's a holiday, yeah.
It's a holiday, so we're coming back on next week Thursday.
Okay.
The 15th.
Gotcha.
And then the 16th is your last day because then you go on holiday.
For a few days.
A few days. Okay. Again. So I'm always got it like that, man. Got it like that. It's a pleasure.
All right.
Mr. Basden, I'll look out for you at 7 o'clock, sir.
All righty.
Enjoy your evening.
Good
luck with your sports nominations.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll put my team forward.
Liverpool?
Not that one. The other one.
Okay, no problem. I look forward to that paperwork.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
I got you. You're listening to me. All right, but you know what? If I put it forth, I know I can get anybody from you. I sound like one of those people, right?
Yeah. See? You prejudge me.
Prejudging.
I can only judge the information in front of me.
But you already said what you're going to do. Hey, that's what I said.
I just said if it's 12 and then you take again on the form, you might not make it. I didn't say you will not make it. I said you might not make
But
it.
prior to that, you said I might put a 1. No, you can't say you might put a 1 there. That's what you said.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm
It's a
just
significant
messing.
accomplishment.
I'm just
Significant.
messing if you may.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
You as well.
Cool.
Talk Radio is brought to you